Today on the Green Light Awareness, we have a special guest, and we're going to be talking about a little bit about the residential schools and some of her thoughts about this. Could you introduce yourself?
My name is Glori Meldrum, and I'm the founder and chair of Little Warriors and the Be Brave Ranch.
Okay. After doing research on the residential schools, many of them were built about 100 kilometers away from the reservation. So do you think our government knew what was about to happen or what did happen? It doesn't make any sense to me. Why would they, if they had good intentions, why would they build the schools on the reservation versus so far away?
Yeah, I think it's a really good question because if their motives were pure, why would they move the kids so far away to a residential school? Why weren't they, close to major centers, those types of things? So it does leave you with the question is, did they know? Why did they move them so far away in remote areas?
Like there's so many red flags in that. If you're going to get one culture to blend in with another culture, it just makes more sense to educate them. Then they could talk to their parents afterwards. But the fact they're so many kilometers away, and somehow these abuses just kind of happened, and where's the mystery? There's so many red flags in these residential schools. How do they really justify this?
Well, and if you think about how long ago residential schools were and when they closed, why is it now that we're just finding the graves, right? Do people know about those? I think it's one of those things that there's so many things that have been covered up. Will we ever know all of it? I don't know. But there are definitely a lot of questions, and it was interesting today, Victor was speaking about Putin and how bad and all of that stuff about what's going on with Russia and the Ukraine, but we can't forget too, we did kind of something similar in Canada, right? We tried to assimilate Indigenous people and make them white people, right? We have a history that isn't, when it comes to Indigenous people in residential schools, isn't anything any Canadian should ever be proud of, right?
Now, what's your background? Are you part of a tribe or?
So it's interesting because at Little Warriors we have just a tribe of supporters. So, but not. I'm Miqma, and so from Nova Scotia is where most of the Miqma people are, and it's pronounced Miqma or Miqma, depending on who's saying it. And so I never grew up on a reservation, anything like that. But it's been something really I've done sweat lodges, which have been amazing. I've made my own drum, have done circles. I try to embrace the culture as much as I can because it really is where I'm drawn, and I think that a lot of the things that Indigenous people do, including sweats and ceremonies, are really, really healing, and there's lots that we could learn from Indigenous people.
Agreed.